Hello guys. So up to yesterday, so we seen about the OOPS concept. So I hope OOPS concepts is perfectly completed. So what are the OOPS concepts we seen? So what is meant by class? So what is meant by object? So what is meant by method? So what is constructor? So what is inheritance? Polymorphism, abstraction, and interface concept. So up to yesterday's session, we completed the OOPS. So now today's session we are going to see so what is meant by exception handling. So what is meant by exception handling? So what is meant by exception handling? So I hope so now freshly we are going to start today exception handling. So first we'll see what is meant by exception. So what is meant by exception? So exception means what? So the unexpected event. So exception means what? The unexpected. So the unexpected event that disturbs. So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program. So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception handling. So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So not handling. So just exception. So what is meant by exception? So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So what is the meaning of the exception? So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So why we require the exception handling in our program? So this exception is nothing but runtime error. So this exception is nothing but runtime error. So runtime error is nothing but exception. So now two types of errors mainly we are seeing. So that errors is called compile time errors and runtime errors. So mainly two types of errors we are seeing. So what are the two types of errors we are seeing? So compile time errors and runtime errors. So up to now what are the errors we seen? So that errors is an compile time error. So that errors is an which errors? Compile time error. So compile time errors means what? You are missing semicolon or you are missing some like this curly braces, or instead of keywords you are using any other words. So that errors is called compile time error. So compile time errors means what? So our program will not run at all. So compile time errors means what? So our program will not run. So compile time errors means what? So our program will not run. But runtime error means what? So first our program will execute. So what is meant by runtime error? So first whatever the program we have given, so that program, so it will execute. So it will execute our program. So after executing our program, so still any error is coming, so that error is called runtime error. So that runtime error is nothing but we can tell as a exception. So exception means what? Runtime error. So what is the definition of the exception? So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So the exception is nothing but runtime error. So take one example. So now daily we are seeing the session. So what is our session time? Example, we are taking from 11 to 12 is our session. So daily our session is going from 10 to 11. So daily this is our flow of program. So normally we are going to see the flow of program. So one day what will happen? So internet will not work properly. So internet will not work. So internet is what? Some exception. It is disturbing our normal flow of program. So what is the daily normal flow of program? So 11 to 12 we have to see the class, but suddenly what happened? So the internet will not work. So this is called the exception. So what is the exception? Unexpected event at the runtime. So anyone unexpectedly it will execute. So that is called the exception. So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception handling. So now one more time I am telling the example. So daily we are seeing the class from 11 to 12 o'clock. So 11 o'clock we started our program. So there is a uh, no disturbance in our program. So after starting our session 10 to 15 minutes, so suddenly our net was disconnected. So it is unexpected or unexpected? So definitely it is an unexpected event. So that unexpected event is nothing but exception. So expected event means what? So before starting the class the internet is not coming means, so that is expected event. So daily I will inform you, so internet is not working so before 11, but after 11, after taking the session in between, so the program is going to stop. So that is called the exception. So what is meant by exception? So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. Okay, so I hope everyone is clear with this exception. So hello guys, so the next topic so we're going to see is the exception handling. Okay, so the next topic is called the exception handling. So the next topic is what? So exception handling. So exception handling. So what is the next topic? So exception handling. So first of all we will see so what is meant by exception. So what is meant by exception. So next we are going to see so how to handle that exception. Okay. So first we will see what is meant by exception. So what is meant by exception? So I will tell you one example. Now I am telling the class to you. So consider your class timing is 3 to 4. So I am taking your class from 3 to 4. I started your class by 3 o'clock. So after starting your class, so 3:20 came. So 3:20. So 20 minutes class is completed. So after 20 minutes, so what happened? So suddenly my internet was disconnected. So suddenly what happened? So my internet was disconnected. So this internet disconnection is expected event or unexpected event. So definitely it is an unexpected event. Why it is an unexpected event? So after execution, so after starting the class, suddenly the internet was disconnected. So this is called the unexpected event. Okay. So same in our program also. Okay. So same in our program also, like this some unexpected events will occur. So unexpected events means what? So after the execution of the program. Okay. So after the execution of the program, so any unexpected events will occur. So that is called the exception. So what is meant by exception? So the definition of the exception is so the unexpected event. So the unexpected event that disturbs. So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program. Okay, so what is our normal flow of program? So 3 to 4 we have to take the class. So this is our normal flow of program. So suddenly what happened? so the internet may be disconnected, or current should be gone, or some laptop is given some trouble. So any some unexpected event will occur, so that is called the exception. So what is meant by exception? So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So what is meant by exception? So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program. So unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So for exception, so there is another name. So that name is called runtime error. So what is the another name of the exception? So runtime error is the another name of the exception. So runtime error is the another name of the exception. So two types of errors is there. So one is compile time error, another one is runtime error. So what is the compile time errors? So before execution of the program, so if any errors will come, so that errors is called the compile time errors. So after execution of the program, so any errors will come, so that is called the runtime errors. So that is the difference between the compile time errors and runtime errors. So up to now, what are the errors we seen? So compile time errors. So from now we are going to see the runtime errors also. So the runtime errors is nothing but exception. So the runtime errors is nothing but exception. So what is exception? So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called the exception. So now exception. So exception. So exception is an inbuilt class. So exception is an inbuilt class. So from which package we are using the exception means from lang package. From lang package. So for Java they provided one facility. So only for lang package. So only for lang package. So no need to import. Okay. So only for lang package. So no need to import. So remaining all packages we have to import. Only for lang package, no need to import. So string we discussed. So string also is in lang package. For string we imported any package, we didn't imported any package. Why? Because so string is a class in the lang package. So like this exception also is available in the which package? So lang package. So the exception is also available in the lang package. So for lang package, no need to import. Okay. So now exception. So exception is an inbuilt class. In which package? Lang package. So next, exceptions, we are having the multiple exceptions. So what are the multiple exceptions? So arithmetic. So we are having arithmetic exception. So next we are having another exception called so array index, so out of bounds exception. So next we are having null pointer exception. Null pointer exception. So next we are having IO exception. We are having another exception, IO exception. So IO exception. We are having another exception here. I am writing. So IO exception. So like this multiple exceptions is there. So presently we are seeing these exceptions. So here consider exception is a parent class. So this IO exception, arithmetic exception, So array index out of bounds exception, null pointer exception. So these are all the child classes of the exception class. So exception is a parent. So these are all comes under the child classes of exception class. So like this, how many types of exception classes is there? Means nearly 50 to 100 is there. But all we did not require. So just according to our program. So what are all the exceptions we require? So we are going to use that exceptions. We are going to use that exception. So just take the example. So from now, so till the end of our Java course, so the exceptions will continue with us. So in each and every concept, so in each and every one concept, so we are going to one exception. Okay. Just for example, I written this diagram. So IO exception, arithmetic exception, array exception. For all this, who is the parent? So exception is a parent. So remaining all the child classes. So these are all inbuiltly available in. So these are all inbuiltly available in which package? So java.lang package. So these are all inbuiltly available in which package? So java.lang package. So these are all available in java.lang package. So next, so now we will see, so how to execute these exceptions. So what is the output will print for these exceptions? So that everything now we will see. So now I am giving new package. So now I am creating one class. So now what I am doing? So just I am taking two system.out.println statements. So now I am giving hi. So now I am giving hello. So now I am running my program. So what is the output came? So hi came, hello came. So hi came in output, so hello came in my output. So now in between hi and hello, I am giving system.out.println. So 10 divided by 0. So what I have given here? 10 divided by 0. So now again I am running the program. See, so now what is the output came? So hi printed, but hello is not printed. So my program is starting from hi. So but whenever it came to 10 by 0, so it is printing what? Exception. So exception in thread main. So java.lang. So lang is a package dot arithmetic exception. So anything divided by 0, it will print the which exception? Arithmetic exception. So how we can get the arithmetic exception? So any number divided by 0. So that is a which exception? Arithmetic exception. So now I open the calculator. I am giving 10 divided by 0. So what is the output came? So cannot divided by 0. So any number divided by 0. So that will print the which exception? Arithmetic exception. So any number divided by 0. So that will print the which exception? Arithmetic exception. So what is the message they display? So cannot divided by 0. So any number divided by 0, that will rise to which exception? Arithmetic exception. So now I told the difference between the compile time error and runtime error. So runtime error means what? So after the execution of the program, so the error is going to execute. So compile time error means what? So now I missed the semicolon. So here itself it is showing the error. So this is called the compile time error. So runtime error means what? So after the execution of the program, so if any error will come, so that is called the runtime error. So runtime error is nothing but we can tell as a exception. We can tell as a exception. So now arithmetic exception. So now next what is the error? Array index exception. So now see, I am giving int a equals to 3. So new int of 3 and so I am giving a of 0 equals to 5. Next a of 1 equals to 10. So next a of 2 equals to 20. So now I am giving for what is the size of the array? 3. So I plus plus. So a of I. So high printed, 5, 10, 20 printed, hello is printed. So now what I am doing is, now I am giving a of 3 equals to 30. Now the exception will rise or not? So definitely the exception will rise. So which exception will rise? So java.lang array index out of bounds exception. So which exception is raised? So array index out of bounds exception. Why? The size of the array is 3, but you are giving to array size is 4. So how it will execute? So it will not execute. So more than the array size if you give, okay, so it will print the which exception? Array index out of bounds exception. Okay, so now clear. So what is array index out of bounds exception? So our array size is 3. More than that array size if you give. So more than the size of the array if you give, so that is called the array index out of bounds exception. Array index out of bounds exception. Okay. So now we seen what are all the exceptions. So arithmetic exception and array index out of bounds exception. So now we will see how to handle these exceptions. So now we will see how to handle these exceptions. So if you want to handle these exceptions, so we have to use the try and catch. So we have to use the try and catch blocks. We have to use the which blocks? So we have to use the try and catch blocks. So we have to use the which blocks? Try and catch blocks we have to use. So in this try and catch blocks, so try block is so used to write the coding. So try block is used to write the coding. So next, so catch block. So catch block why we are using means so to print. So why we are using the catch block means so to print that exception. So whatever the exception is occurred in the program, so that exception it is going to print. So try catch means, so don't consider it will remove that exception. It will not remove any exceptions. So just it will handle for that particular time. So take one example. So now we are traveling from Chennai to Pondicherry. For example,
Now we are traveling from Chennai to Pondicherry in a car. So suddenly when we went to Mahabalipuram, there our tire got punctured. So whenever our tire got punctured, so what is the immediate step we are going to take? So we are not rectifying that puncture. So just at that particular time we are using the Stepney and just we are changing the tire and we are going. So after that only we are rectifying that puncture. So here also same thing. So why we are using the try and catch block means, so at that particular time, so just we are going to handle that exception. So instead of stopping the execution of our program, so at that particular time, so just we are going to handle that exception. So for handling that exception, we are using the try and catch block. So at that particular time, so just we are handling that exception. So now I will tell you how to use the try and catch block. So where your exception is occurring? So here I am writing try. So always the code should be written inside the try block, and always try should be followed by catch block. So catch block, what I am doing? So just instead of taking array index exception, arithmetic exception, so commonly I am using the which class? Exception class. Why? Exception is a parent class, so it only consisting of all the child classes. So exception. What is my object here? So E is my object. So instead of E, any object name we can take. So now see what happened. So I printed. So wherever the exception is occurred, so at that particular time, so it is going to handle that exception. At that particular time, it is going to handle that exception, and normally the program execution is doing. So this is the way to handle that particular exception. So this is the particular way to handle that exceptions. Okay, so why we are using the try and catch block? So just to handle the exception. So we are using the try and catch block. Okay. So next. So in one program, so can we declare two exceptions? Yes. So in one program, so there may be a n number of exceptions we can declare. So now see, array exception is there. So next I am using here arithmetic exception also. So now how many exceptions is in our program? So in our program, two exceptions I have given. But how many exceptions it is showing? So only one exception it is showing. So in our program, so we are having multiple exceptions. But it is showing how many exceptions? One exception only. So consider, so in our program, we may have 100 exceptions, but always it will print the first exception only. So if I print the first exception only, so it will come to the second exception. So if I clear the first exception only, so it will print the second exception. So now see, first exception I clear, so it is going to the second exception. So at a time we cannot execute the multiple exceptions. Okay, so at a time we cannot execute the multiple exceptions. Only one exception will be executed at a time. Okay, so another question may rise here. So what we have to do? So if you want to print multiple exceptions, so if you want to print multiple exceptions at a time, so we can use the again try and catch block. So multiple try and catch blocks if you use, so we can print the multiple exceptions at a time. Okay, so this is called the exception concept. Okay, so exception handling. So what is meant by exception handling? So what is exception handling? So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So the unexpected event that disturbs the normal flow of program is called exception. So how we can handle the exception? So by using the try and catch block. So by using try catch block, so we cannot remove that exceptions. So just at particular time we can handle that exceptions. So mainly why we have to go for this exception handling means, so in big programs, so in big programs, so in 100 lines of coding I am writing. So in which line I can find the error? So it is very difficult for me. So in that cases, so we can go for this exception handling concept. So if you use the exception handling concept, what will happen? So it will reduce the time of our coding. So instead of finding half an hour to check the error, so it may take 15 minutes or it may take 10 minutes. So just we can reduce our time, so by using the exception. Okay, so now I hope so everyone is clear with this exception concept.